From the reveal of another Hollywood megastar nearly appearing in the fastest movie of the summer, to exactly what went into making Christopher Nolan's newest slice of must-see cinema. Prepare yourself for a bunch of outrageous and astonishing truths about recent movies that have only just been discovered. And plenty of spoilers are incoming, of course. So I am Gareth here from WhatCulture.com, and here are 10 insane truths we just learned about recent movies. Number 10. Hayley Atwell didn't record any dialogue for 3 months. Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. Many performers are at their most comfortable with a script in hand, or with a piece of text freshly stored in their memory, ready to unleash in the middle of an intense exchange with their scene partner. And that certainly appears to be the case for Hayley Atwell, with the star coming from a theatre background. But Atwell actually recently revealed that she spent 100 days on set without recording a single dialogue scene in the set-piece heavy Dead Reckoning Part 1. With that lack of speech often leaving the Brit questioning whether she was expressing enough. Thanks to the sheer amount of preparation time Atwell had put in with a superb stunt team before playing the role of Grace in the 7th installment though, the character ultimately came to life in the action. And this thief's emotion at any given moment explodes off the screen, often without Atwell needing to utter a single word. Number 9. Keanu Reeves was supposed to play a major role, Fast X. After already almost joining the Fast family during the making of Hobbs & Shaw a few years back, as confirmed by director David Leitch, eventual Ames actor Alan Ritchson recently confirmed that the iconic Keanu Reeves was once again courted coming into Fast X. According to the Reacher actor, Reeves was originally intended to play the new leader of the agency in the latest Fast entry. A frankly insane move that would have added even more star power to a series already containing Vin Diesel, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Jason Momoa and Statham, Brie Larson and so many more. Seriously, these flicks contain more stars than sense. Number 8. There was an alternate ending where John survived. John Wick Chapter 4. After facing off with Donnie Yen's Kane in a duel with pistols, John Wick is able to trick his adversary, the Marquise, played by a sinister Bill Skarsgård, into thinking he'd been left mortally wounded from a shot after missing his own. Only the former was true, however, with the Marquise soon being blasted in the head by the legendary hitman's not yet fired bullet after tagging into the shootout late on. Wick then seemingly succumbed to his injuries a short while later. Whether or not the Baba Yaga did actually bite the dust here is still hugely up for debate, with the eventual shot of John Wick's grave not convincing some fans that they've seen the last of Reeves' gunslinger. This wasn't actually the only ending filmed for the latest Wick chapter though, as revealed by director Chad Stahelski. A version that made it obvious that the hitman had very much survived his injuries was also tested. However, the folks who saw that alternate conclusion preferred the ambiguous version that both Reeves and Stahelski had originally wanted. So there you have it. Had audiences cheered in test screenings at the sight of Wick clearly refusing to stay dead? There's a good chance Chapter 4 would have concluded on a far less mysterious note. Number 7. Karen Allen thought she was going to have a much bigger part. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. After being regularly mentioned throughout the runtime by the titular whip-wielding professor of archaeology, and various other figures, Marion Ravenwood, who'd married Jones in Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, finally showed up in the Dial of Destiny's closing stages to reunite with her estranged husband. It wasn't always supposed to be this way, however. In fact, as recently noted by Allen herself, back when Spielberg was still attached to direct, the 5th feature was actually set to be more of an Indy Marion story. And while the actor admitted to not actually seeing a script the director had been working on for Indy 5, her conversations with the world-class movie maker led her to believe that Spielberg's version of the tale involved a lot more Marion than what fans ultimately got in the Dial of Destiny. Allen was still profoundly happy the two characters were able to reconnect before the end of Harrison Ford's chapter as the icon. But it's crazy to think just how different Indy's time-traveling last hurrah could have been had his fiery wife remained as involved in the tale as she originally was. Were you gutted about Marion's lack of screen time in the latest Indy? Are there any other movie characters you felt deserved more minutes than what they ultimately got? Well, let me know about them in the comments section right down below. Number 6. One cameo was actually cut for being too bizarre. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. It did often seem as though no idea was deemed too bizarre or crazy for this Spider Stuff sequel. But there was actually one Spider Society team member that was left out of the mayhem, due to it being a little too out there even for this often outrageous multiversal entry. As recently noted by one of the film's 3 directors, Justin K. Thompson, there was once a moment planned that would have seen a Toy Biz Spider-Man version of the web slinger popping up as one of the many Spider people on show. And if that wasn't crazy enough for you, a giant hand was going to be holding said toy off screen. Even without that utterly insane moment of playtime come to animated life, Across the Spider-Verse wasn't exactly lacking in bold and downright balmy occurrences. This is a film that unleashes Spider-Rex, a Venomverse detour, and a damn Lego Spider-Man over the course of yet another astonishing Miles Morales adventure. And with even more variants and universes set to be introduced in Beyond the Spider-Verse, it looks like things are about to somehow get even crazier. Maybe even Toy Biz crazy. Number 5, Bumblebee's Hailee Steinfeld nearly had a Polaroid cameo. Transformers: Rise of the Beasts. Despite the pair going their separate ways in the closing stages of what still ranks as the best Transformers movie of the entire live-action series, there was still a chance that Hailee Steinfeld's Charlie Watson could reunite with the bright yellow Autobot heading into the latest entry for the franchise. In the end though, Charlie did not make a surprise comeback, did she? But there was actually a moment cut out of Rise of the Beast that would have acted as a cameo of sorts for the character. According to director Stephen Caple Jr., a moment involving Bumblebee showing Optimus Prime a Polaroid selfie of the pals taken by Charlie would have highlighted how close the two were in the film set before the events of Rise of the Beasts. But for those still holding out hope of Charlie somehow returning to the mix in future films, it is worth noting how Caple Jr. went out of his way to state how much he loves Steinfeld, and that the way his film ends leaves the door open for a potential return down the road. Watch this robotic space. Number 4, Michael Shannon wasn't satisfied returning as General Zod, The Flash. While the star of the likes of Knives Out and Revolutionary Road certainly enjoyed his first stab at bringing the iconic big bad to life in Zack Snyder's Man of Steel, Michael Shannon didn't appear to have quite as much fun during his Zod comeback in this year's The Flash, who pulled absolutely zero punches when summing up his return to the DCEU in a conversation with Collider recently, classing the multiversal films that are becoming increasingly more prevalent in theaters as being like somebody playing with action figures. The Oscar-nominated thespian felt as though he was basically there to present a challenge, and the experience wasn't quite satisfying for him as an actor. Again, Shannon had nothing but positive words to say about his time working on the in-depth character study that was Man of Steel, but despite still going out of his way to note how The Flash had a similarly sophisticated story, one that simply wasn't Zod's, it's pretty safe to assume this will be the star's first and last dance in the multiverse. Number 3, Ryan Gosling sent a weird Braveheart gift to a cast sleepover, Barbie. Just before Greta Gerwig embarked on the adventure that was shooting this year's gloriously pink and epic big screen Barbie offering, the director apparently decided to assemble her many Barbies for a sleepover, one that the various Kens were also welcome to join for a spell. But with the main Ken himself, Ryan Gosling, not being available for this gathering of some of the most gorgeous folks ever to walk the earth, the Hollywood superstar had a plan. In a recent GQ article, Gerwig noted how Gosling actually decided to send perhaps the most bizarre gift imaginable to his castmates to make up for his absence. Said gift: a Scottish man sporting a full kilt and playing bagpipes. Not stopping there though, said prank/present then proceeded to deliver the famous "They'll never take our freedom" speech from Braveheart to the sleepover crew. That's one way to inject some Kenergy into the mix from afar. Number 2, the film has 0 CGI shots, Oppenheimer. Despite not being quick to rely on the tool when crafting one of his incoming projects, Christopher Nolan has occasionally been forced to head down the CGI route. Not for his next explosive slice of cinema though. Nolan has actually recently explained that Oppenheimer won't possess a single CGI shot in its monumental 3-hour runtime. That is crazy. Now that's not to say that VFX definitely won't be used to edit and or touch up certain effects that were achieved practically during the making of the flick. But Nolan's claim seems to suggest that absolutely everything that will explode onto screens this year was very much practically forged on set, even if just initially. Simply put, Nolan wasn't playing it safe in the slightest with his latest and most ambitious endeavor to date. genuinely unleashing many a Trinity test enormous explosion in the desert during the making of Oppenheimer's world-changing story. Number 1. James Gunn's character was originally written for Stan Lee, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. The mind behind the beloved Guardians of the Galaxy once again made a rather easily missed cameo in the third and final volume in the trilogy, showing up as Lambshank, one of the High Evolutionary's experiments, during the closing stages of the flick. However, this wasn't actually the original plan for the character who initially spooked Mantis during the film's Great Escape. In Volume 3's director's commentary, Gunn recently explained that he actually originally wrote Lambshank for the late great Stan Lee to play, with Gunn finishing the first draft of the script all the way back in 2018, before Lee unfortunately passed away. The director's plan was to have Lee grace the project with his unmistakable voice after realizing that it would be more difficult to get him to Atlanta to shoot as he got older. But with Lee passing away a few months after Gunn was fired, that potential Lee cameo as Lambshank simply was not possible by the time the director finally began filming the flick in late 2021. And with all that in mind, you'll probably never look at this innocent little guy the same way ever again. Rest in peace, Stan Lee. So that's our list. Know of any other insane truths you've just learned about recent movies? Let us know all about them in the comment section right down below, and don't forget to like, share, and click on that subscribe button while you're down there. Also, if you like this sort of stuff, then please head on over to whatculture.com and find some more fantastic articles just like the one this video you're watching right now is based on. I've been Gareth from whatculture.com. Cheers for watching this particular video today, and hopefully we'll see you very, very soon. Bye bye!